Fulani herdsmen. Protests rock Edo community over killing of a prince. The remains of Prince Dennis Elonio Abuda, a United States-based businessman, was laid to rest today in his hometown, Fuga. There was a heavy presence of law and enforcement agents who helped to maintain law and order in the quiet, peaceful town. Late Abuda commanded so much respect from residents of the community on account of his sense of humility, generosity, and likable personality. Abuda visited home last December for the burial of his stepmother without a premonition of what awaits him. Everybody felt his presence during his stay. Chief Abuda left Fuga on the 30th of January 2021 to catch a flight in Lagos for his return trip to the United States. 3 family relatives were in Sienna Jeep taking them to Lagos. They were abducted along Benin bypass by kidnappers who were later confirmed to be Fulani herdsmen by those released. The kidnappers demanded 10 million naira ransom through Chief Abuda. 10 million naira ransom, though Chief Abuda had been shot dead since he couldn't endure the trek in the forest. His family paid the ransom and others were released. Chief Dennis Abuda is the CEO, or was the CEO of a property company in the USA. May his gentle soul rest in peace. This is actually getting very, very bad. At this point, you would say that this is all coincidental, but in every other major ethnic group, let's say in the Igbo part, now the Benin part, and the Yoruba part, the killings that have been going on recently have been by herdsmen as identified. And it's actually getting very gruesome and very worrying at this point, because it makes you think, is this just coincidental or is it planned? It would not be far-fetched for you to have that idea. While there are a lot of comments here, and the first one reacting says, with this kind of thing, somebody would allow Fulani in his community, God forbid. Somebody says, it is not wrong to start wrong, but it is wrong to continue the wrong. Nigeria started wrong. Our wrongs can never make us strong. Okay, poet. Mark it that it is the end of a bad story. APC will never do anything about it. How many has gone like that? Fulani herdsmen sack 90 plus community in Benue. What did APC do about it? Yeah, at this point, it's not surprising to see that at Nigeria's inception, it was literally doomed for failure, because the fact is, I think the selfish deeds of obviously the British and other factors just show that it's just so selfish. Like, of course, in the long term, you see these people will not be able to get along. Absolutely not. They are so different. Like, it's actually, we're so different. It's not a bad thing, but in terms of our ideologies on how we should be led, if there are conflicts of interest, then it's going to be a big problem. And of course, at the time, obviously with Nigeria being independent and of course joining the Commonwealth, you can see that of course certain countries did benefit from Nigeria being independent, even though it looked as if it was for Nigeria's benefit 100%. So yeah, wow. Another person here says, the only sensible thing to do is for communities to wake and defend themselves against this killer herdsman. And of course, this is what's happening with ESN and Amotekun. But it's sad that we have to get to this stage where we actually have to make our own security forces, because we can't even trust. We can't trust the policemen. We can't trust our own security agents. I mean, it's been years and we are still fighting Boko Haram. And we claim to have money, we claim to have the resources, but where are these resources going? What are the outcomes of the expenditure of these resources? It is actually really, really sad. I mean, at this point, there's no future of Nigeria because it's just unrealistic. Why would Nigerians want to be together? Why? What is the reason? Except if the southern, people want to be together, but then again, it's the conflicts, how the betrayal of, let's say, the Hausa and the Yorubas and the Igbos, it's just bad. And of course, Igbo people, or the Biafrans specifically, they know their history. They understand how the country, why it was made, on whose terms it was made for, and they understand how they were betrayed, basically, and they know their history, so no one can tell them, anything, and they know that, a lot of politicians who helped, make the civil war, some of them are still alive, some of them had an influential part in it, and they know their history, so they know who are their real enemies. And so, of course, the vim and the passion in which they want to, achieve self-determination, it's obvious to see. But again, it's still very, very bad. And it's not a far-fetched idea to think that it's all planned, because how can it be that in every section, in every ethnic group of the country, killings are happening, and most of them are by Fulani herdsmen? It's not like as if it's a spread out thing. It's all happening at once. Somebody says, how do you explain that this man that came home to celebrate Christmas with his kins in December was brutally killed on the 30th of January on his way to Lagos to board a flight that would take him back to the United States? I hope some of these Fulani herdsmen, apologists, and supporters like Garba Shehu and many more of them in corridors of power are reading this or must have heard about it. So if your brother is Prince Abuda that was shot brutally and murdered by his Fulani kidnappers, how will you feel? The fact that somebody doesn't have to be your brother, the fact that you are in a position of power where it is your responsibility and your duty to take care of the citizens because they put you there, you don't have to feel sentimental about it. You have to do the right thing and make sure that justice happens. I feel like sometimes in some situations, yes, it's good to, personalize it a bit more and be like, oh, if this was your mom or your father or anything. But the fact is, in this case, somebody is dead. The person doesn't have to be your brother for you to care about it. That's it. Another person here says, Mazlam Kanu earlier told you that that Buhari died in 2017 and you're still doubting the revelation. This zoological garden called Nigeria is being governed by a ghost represented Jubil of Sudan. This person has no likes or comments. And fact is, the truth will surely come out, and whatever it is, we will know who has been right all along, or we will know if everyone was just chatting a bunch of jargons. But the fact remains that justice has to be served. I don't know what the next line of action is, because if the people in government are not proactive in solving this, worse can happen. It could embolden these people to do more, because they're like, what would they do? It's actually very, very sad and a little bit scary if we're not really careful about what's going on here. But obviously it's a sad event, and may his soul rest in peace. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.